let me introduce the other people at the table with me. We have Evan McLaughlin with Assemblywoman Lorena Gonzalez's office to my left, and Jerica Mearns, the Executive Director of Working Partnerships, to my right. My name is Ben Field. I'm the Executive Officer of the South Bay Labor Council. We are here because over a third of workers in the city of San Jose do not earn paid sick days off. And these tend to be workers at the lower end of the pay spectrum, and so they are faced with a very difficult decision every time they get sick. They either have to go to work sick, exposing their co-workers and customers, or they have to forego a paycheck that is essential to them to make ends meet. And that's just not right. It is a basic human right for them to have paid sick days. The research team, that's our Skype program. I'm going to talk about that in a minute too. We're going to have testimony from the researchers who have studied the problem here in the city of San Jose, and a business that provides paid sick leave. They're going to talk about why that's of such essential importance. Now, Lorena Gonzalez has authored a bill, AB1522, which would address this problem. Evan McLaughlin, her chief of staff, is here to talk about that. Unfortunately, today, Lorena has got a crucial vote, a critical vote up at the State Assembly, and is not able to be here, so Evan is going to be pinch hitting for her, answering questions about that bill, and we will be Skyping in Lorena to make her opening statement. She, I know, wishes she could be here. She's going to make an opening statement, and then Evan's going to handle questions about the bill. I want to acknowledge a number of elected officials who are either here or represented here today. Dick Santos with the Water District Board is here, and we also have Sunshine Borelli and Amparo Diaz with Jim Bell's office. Senator Jim Bell's office is represented. Vedant Patel with Mike Honda's office, Congressman Mike Honda's office. Karen Gonzalez with Assembly Speaker Pro Tem Nora Campos' office is here. Sandra Soto with Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren's office is here. Thank you, Sandra, for being here. Christy Tan with Councilmember Canton Chu's office is here. Christy, I expect that, and we have somebody else here I can't see. I see Steve Preminger in the back, head of the Democratic Party. And I also want to acknowledge Melinda Markowitz, who's Vice President with the California Nurses Association, who's here. Thank you all for being here. We have a number of workers who are going to be here to testify about their experience in the workplace. Hi, Lorena. It's Ben Field. Lorena, we're so sorry you can't be here. We totally understand why. Thanks very much for Skyping in, and we are ready to hear your opening statement.
Well, thank you first of all for coming out. I'm so sorry. Obviously, with water bond, it's not my timing I live on up here, unfortunately. But thank you for coming out. Our really first in the nation attempt to cover all workers in a state with some earned sick days is something that I have been working on and hoping to introduce since I had, basically Ben's job in San Diego, heading our Central Labor Council. It wasn't long after I started in labor, when people would talk about the reason they liked their union contract, you would find something interesting, especially with single moms. And the number one thing they would talk about is having the ability to take a day off if their children were sick, go pick them up at school, take them to the doctor. And it's some things that those of us with sick days have always taken for granted, and something that is very meaningful, obviously, for those who don't have the opportunity. When we found out that there were 6 to 7 million Californians who, despite working full-time, part-time, 15 years, 20 years, 5 years, don't have the opportunity to even take an hour of paid time off, we realized we wanted to do something about it. So AB 1522 gives us that opportunity. It's very, we think, very controlled, a total of 3 days that an employee could take off, whether they're sick or a loved one sick, in order to care for themselves or a loved one. And we hope that with some pressure from throughout the state, that this will get through the Senate, signed by this governor.
Thank you, Lorena, and we're looking forward to the progress of your bill. And thank you for Skyping in. Sorry again that you can't be here.
And I'm sorry I couldn't be there as well. And thank you for everybody who came out to talk about this important issue. And it's a fight we're going to have to continue to have at the state level and at local levels, because 3 days just isn't enough. I mean, and we know that. It's a bare minimum. That's what we want in the state. But we know that municipality by municipality, area, region, should demand more, just like San Jose did on the minimum wage a few years ago. I hope that you'll be taking an effort to ask for even more than 3. So thank you for your efforts on this.
I want to introduce now our first panelists are workers who have a direct experience with jobs where they did not have earned sick leave. We're going to start with those worker stories. The second panel is going to be sort of the big picture, the research on San Jose. Derica and others are going to speak about that. I'll introduce those when we're done with the first panel. The first panel, we start with